Hello children. Today we are going to share a story whose name is Harold and the Purple Crayon. So, once upon a time, there was a young boy named Harold. Harold was a creative and imaginative child who loved to draw with his purple crayon. He would spend hours drawing all kinds of things with his favorite crayon, from animals to houses and even entire cities. One night, as Harold was getting ready for bed, he reached for his purple crayon. He began to draw a big, round moon in the sky and a long, winding path that stretched out in front of him. As he gazed at his drawing, he suddenly had an idea. He would go on an adventure. With his purple crayon in hand, Harold set off down the path. As he walked, he drew all sorts of things to make his adventure even more exciting. He sketched a towering mountain to climb, a deep sea to swim in, and even a majestic flying dragon to ride on. Harold was amazed to discover that with his purple crayon, he could create anything his heart desired. As he journeyed along, Harold came across a dense forest. The trees were tall and thick, and the branches blocked out the moonlight. Harold felt a shiver run down his spine as he took his first steps into the forest. But he didn't let his fear get the best of him. Instead, he drew a flashlight with his purple crayon and continued onward. As he walked deeper into the forest, Harold drew all sorts of creatures to keep him company. He drew a friendly owl to guide him, a playful squirrel to keep him company, and even a mischievous monkey to entertain him. After what felt like hours, Harold emerged from the forest and onto a wide-open plain. In the distance, he saw a great, towering castle. He knew that he had to get there, but the path was blocked by a deep, rushing river. Harold was stumped for a moment, but then he remembered the power of his purple crayon. He drew a sturdy boat and set out across the river. As he sailed along, he drew all sorts of sea creatures to keep him company. He drew a smiling dolphin, a curious octopus, and even a friendly shark. Finally, Harold arrived at the castle. It was a grand and majestic structure, with turrets and towers stretching up to the sky. He drew a door with his purple crayon and stepped inside. Inside the castle, Harold found himself in a grand ballroom. The room was filled with people dancing and laughing, and Harold couldn't help but smile. He drew a handsome prince and a beautiful princess and watched as they waltzed across the room. As the night wore on, Harold began to feel tired. He knew that it was time to go to sleep, but he didn't want his adventure to end just yet. So, he drew a cozy bed with fluffy pillows and a warm blanket to snuggle under. Harold climbed into bed and closed his eyes, feeling happy and content. In his dreams, he continued his adventure, exploring new places and meeting new friends. Harold snuggled under the cozy blankets and drifted off to sleep, feeling content and happy. As he slept, his dreams took him to even more exciting places than before. He explored magical forests and climbed mountains that reached the clouds. He met new friends, including a mischievous dragon who loved to play pranks and a kind-hearted giant who showed him the wonders of the world. Harold's adventures in his dreams were just as thrilling as they were when he was awake. But eventually, the night had to come to an end, and Harold woke up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle a new day. As he got out of bed, he noticed something different. The world around him seemed to be more vibrant, and he felt a new sense of curiosity and wonder. Harold realized that he didn't have to wait until bedtime to start a new adventure. He could use his purple crayon to create new worlds and explore them whenever he wanted. With a newfound sense of excitement, Harold picked up his purple crayon and began to draw. He created towering castles, vast oceans, and even a spaceship that could travel through the stars. Harold's imagination had no bounds, and he knew that he could create endless possibilities with his trusty purple crayon by his side. From that day on, Harold's adventures never ended. He explored the depths of the sea, climbed the tallest mountains, and traveled to distant planets. He learned that there was no limit to what he could create with his imagination and his trusty purple crayon. And so, as Harold drew his next adventure, he smiled to himself, knowing that no matter what challenges came his way, he was ready to face them with his creative spirit and his beloved purple crayon. Goodbye,